The question is, are the people on the camera?
You at home.
Little people inside, are they right? All right, guys, so we're gonna restore the WLA. We're gonna make it amazing, and I'm super pumped. Now, just to fill you guys in on why we're gonna restore it, there's a lot of different factors. A lot of people told me, they're like, don't restore it, just keep it the way it is. It's better for value, and I thought about it. I do love the patina look. I think it's a really cool looking bike. This was never the way this bike was intended to make. It's what happens when you sit it outside for 30 years in a junkyard. This is what happens when you abuse something. And I kind of look at it like this. If you saw a dog lying in the gutter, mangy, bugs all over him, wounds on it, super dirty.
Sarah McLachlan playing in the background.
Yeah, and you rescued that dog, you gonna leave it the way it is? No, of course not. You know, I do think it's fun to ride it around the way it is, but I've seen these pictures, you know, looking at these pictures of what a good looking WLA looks like, and I'm just like, man, I want that. That looks so good. Look, check this out. Look, a nice blue and white. Come on, look how, that's so good looking. You've seen it, but that's
so good looking.
And this bike was modified in the 60s because this was the style of it. The chopped off fenders and stuff like that. That was the cool new thing. The bike used to look like the picture I just showed you. So, but I want to involve you guys in it. There's a couple things we got to do. One, we need a name. The bike needs a name. Every bike needs a proper name. And what we're gonna make it look like, I'm gonna involve you guys in. We'll throw up some pictures on YouTube and on Facebook, and you guys can help us decide that stuff. I'm really excited about that. But one of the other things that we want to accomplish with this, I've never restored anything successfully. You, Greg?
No, I don't think so. I've taken a lot of things apart.
You've never finished one of your dirt bikes?
Well, I never really restored them. I just made them run.
We are not restorers. I'm nothing. Craig's a mechanic. We kind of want to show that we can make this thing look amazing, but two, and we're going to have some type of a deadline for it. With a little bit of time, a little bit of love, a little bit of money, we want to show that you guys, anyone can do this. And so this kind of brings us to the next question is, how are we going to restore it? There's a lot of different ways we can resto mod this thing. 90 horsepower engine we could throw in here. There's a lot of options that we can do. I want this to be like a purist bike, and I want this to be as original as we can possibly make it, right?
Sure, like finding parts from Russia. Original.
Well, we don't know what we're gonna get into. I think there's room for that stuff. I definitely think there's room for that stuff. You know, 'cause you can buy a brand new WLA frame. I want this bike to perform like it did originally and the way, you know, Harley Davidson made it to.
I'd like to go back to stock with something like this. I think that's gonna be really cool. You know, you'll get the feeling of the old bike, the look of the old bike, the sound of the old bike.
And how, the way everything changes and everything continues getting better and better, you jump on an old bike and you're like, I get it. I get why they liked it. So because we're gonna need a lot of help putting this thing together, tracking down parts, we did make up a website. What's that website? No, not a website.
Email.
We made up an email address.
WLARestore@gmail.com.
We'll put it at the bottom. But we're under the impression there's a lot of OEM parts for these things in Russia. I don't know anyone in Russia or how to get anything. I don't know. Can we even legally get stuff out of Russia?
I know some people that mail ordered brides.
Is this thing really healthy? It ran okay. It got me to my destination, and I've driven it since then. But it's not running with all the power that it's got. So to really figure that out, we did take it to the dyno a couple weeks ago, and here's what happened.
The torque is going to be an accurate torque number.
And that was what?
40 foot-pound? Yeah, 40 foot-pound. That we got to disregard that other one because that was me trying to change it to the firing order, and it just, you know, well, it says 74, but wish that would be real.
Way faster. What was it saying? Average for horsepower, like 10?
What was it, 16? You know, but realistically, if we did get a solid signal, I don't see where that realistically wouldn't be, you know, a 28, 30 horsepower.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just when it starts jumping, you no longer can scale right. You just right. Don't have anything to work with.
I drove it. 16 does not seem far off to me. So before we fire this bike up for the last time, before we take it apart and then fire it up for the first time, there's a couple things that we're gonna have to figure out. And one of those things is, because it came from a junkyard, we don't have a title for it. It'd be cool if doing a rebuild like this just came with a manual of how to do it. It actually does come with a manual. There is a right? The company makes it?
Yeah, I think, what is it? How to rebuild your WLA or something. How to restore your WLA.
And the book cost,
It was like 400
like
bucks.
$400 to buy the book.
Do you remember the sequence?
I'm close. I'm really close to remembering the sequence. Well, that's not right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got to flip.
The clutch has to be in.
Do we have the gas? Let's turn the gas on.
Well, I gotta prime it. I gotta. Oh wait, maybe you're right. Okay, and then I've actually noticed that you can be off on the sequence a little bit,
Okay.
and it still fires up. Give it some
So
throttle.
we need to do some advancing. And what about choke?
Yeah, put it up the whole way.
Up.
That's on. Take advancing off. Maybe put it on half choke. A little bit less throttle. A little more throttle. No choke. I love this bike. I don't think I had the sequence perfect. I'm off, but I always get it. I think if I had it perfect, I would get it on like the first kick.
First kick. That is optimism.
One kick, it'll fire up, then you go adjust everything, and then you fire, then bam, you're good. Let's put it on the table. Is it safe to say that we might need to upgrade our air compressor for this project? I bought that for like 20 bucks at like a yard sale like 5 years ago just to pump up bicycle tires for the kids. And now it's running the whole shop. Step one is gonna be don't do whatever we just got done doing. Don't just go taking the bike apart. What's the game plan? We got baggies. Very meticulous, most meticulous project I'm ever gonna do or ever have done. Every little nut and bolt set someplace, cataloged, labeled, cleaned. You ready for this, Craig?
I'm ready. I'm excited. Can't you tell?
Yeah. Because this piece is so busted up, it's stopping it from coming off.
Well, let's start with the tank, the seat, the fenders, battery. Battery's probably a good spot to start.
We finally get to see what's in here after all these years. Dan, plant the seed. Go plant. Oh.
Can't put that in the ground. Grow more Harleys.
That's what I was thinking.
Was that the last known Harley seed?
That was the last known Harley seed. Oh, look, this is how these things work. They have little like tabs. So these are like little glass things. They have little tabs. So glass piece, they have little tabs on the inside. We can probably just get new inside tabs. You see it's already been painted. Bang the dents out. I'm not sure how to do any of this stuff. Piece number 1. You seeing that?
Take the tank off. Well, let's unhook the battery.
All right, do we have a specific strategy? I mean, every bolt on this thing is completely rusted. You know who might be able to help us out with this body, and they might be able to redo it, like redo the tank, is Horsepower Enterprise.
Good.
The seat was supposed to, it's supposed to be a spring inside there. It's supposed to kind of bounce up and down on that.
Here's the spring.
This is supposed to be a spring. It didn't work.
It didn't work. Where did you put that bolt?
I lost it.
You can see how this is gonna go.
Was this, what's going on down here with the paint? The paint's coming off. Is the frame made of gold?
I hope it's solid gold.
Is this the one golden frame Harley Davidson that the prophecies have been predicting for?
The Willy Wonka Harley.
Right.
We'll pull the
You're taking
battery.
the battery out. Smart, so smart.
You have fuel lines here. You're gonna have an oil line.
I think it's very clear that it's gonna be a really easy build.
I mean, we should be done in a day or 3.
Easy restore. I'm gonna put this aside until we get the whole tank off. I'm gonna put this bolt back through. That's my strategy with that.
What did you spray on this thing?
It's this new stuff.
Over there, what is that stuff?
Liquid wrench penetrating oil. It's got a nice smell to it, right?
I just gonna say it the opposite.
Oh. What kind of tools were they using back then, Craig, when they were putting this thing together?
Craftsman's.
Craftsman.
Original Craftsman.
They used to make good tools.
Good.
Do it.
Hold on. We have to get rid of these hoses first.
Another thing that this project is gonna do for us is this is gonna turn the least functioning shop into a somewhat functioning shop. How functioning can your shop be when you have a drawer filled with socks? Another drawer filled with googly eyes. You see they put a return spring on the throttle over the head and just wraps around the petcock. But it's not strong enough to actually do anything though. Like it doesn't snap it back. Everyone in the camera smell that. It's like fresh gasoline, but like 10x. You getting this wrenching action, Dan? This is sick. This is next level. The intake is just copper. It's a Brillo pad. It's pretty cool. I think he told us this didn't come with it, right? This is like a remanufactured.
Yeah.
It just came out like it didn't even, no effort at all. I think it's safe to say this whole project's cursed.
Should we stop now?
Why this bolt broke, I don't know why, because I can turn it out with my hand. Just so you guys know, this is the easiest part of a job like this. After a couple hours of taking it apart and people thinking they accomplished a lot, that's normally when they quit. Me and Craig were too dumb to quit.
True story. Parents always told me if I'm gonna be dumb, I gotta be tough.
Oh, that's so interesting.
It is cool, isn't it?
The left side's the gas tank, the right side's the oil tank, which I thought were equal halves. Bloop, 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 bloop. That is very, very cool.
Did you unhook your gas lines?
No, because I couldn't get them. But when I pull this, you can start yanking on the gas lines. Was my plan. But that's the original hose.
Yeah, it is. There you go.
Okay, there's a bunch of pieces that I took that we need to connect with. Very important piece. The most important piece.
We're gonna have to pull this off anyway. So just leave that until we pull this off, then we'll take that all off as an assembly. Try to leave it as in big of pieces as possible. You wanna pull the rear fender, battery box, front fender?
Yeah, I'll pull the rear fender. I do think it has a gold frame though. What if we do find out that this was some super, super rare, valuable, $1 million motorcycle?
And we ruined it by restoring it?
Well, you know, I'm pretty sure we would have found out after that first video.
Like, I just found your videos last week. I guess it makes sense that metric and standard fits, because if they were shipping these overseas during the war, all the Home Depots and stuff over there would have had metric and not standard wrenches.
Well, they would have just brought their own tools.
I don't know.
Dan, did you guys train to use other people's, your enemies' tools? You know, it's a lot nicer working on an old bike, not in a parking lot of someone's house or driveway. I feel like we're moving on up in society.
Really are. Maybe by the time we do the next one, we'll have the standard wrenches.
Never good enough to use. Right. Is this a chain oiler?
Probably. It would have one. I think so.
It goes boop, 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 boop from right over here.
Yep.
And oils the chain. Craig will have put the entire engine, took it apart, put it back together, rebuilt everything, and at that moment I'd be like at the last bolt trying to get the rear fender off. Really high achieving on me, Craig.
Just really doing things.
How about goal for next time we work on this bike? We get some proper standard size wrenches.
Well, now you sound like me.
Look at this. Look at this nonsense over here. They modify the exhaust. Let's make it louder. They put an exhaust bracket on there. That makes sense. They weld the exhaust bracket to the swing arm. Let's just weld it on there.
Well, you can't have it falling off now.
It's the worst looking weld.
Oh, shoot, I just realized this piece here's welded on too. Well, now that changes everything.
The more and more I look into this bike needs to be restored. Do we replace all the nut and bolts with or do we clean these nuts and bolts up, making them all smaller than what they were before?
I don't think we want to just go to the hardware store and get hardware store.
No, I'm talking like NOS. None of our friends on the internet help us out.
It's funny, a lot of this stuff is like barely more than hand tight. Oh, there's more to it, but that's all I really remember.
No, I know what I'm talking about. I'm saying like, I'm talking about this. There we go.
I knew what you were talking about. I was just being funny.
Oh.
Really do not like the smell of that stuff. It smells like rest area bathroom cleaner or something.
I think that smells pretty good.
Man, if you guys could smell that, it's good stuff. That's sketch. This is all gonna get cleaned off, so these marks aren't gonna stay, but I can at least take a picture.
I'm way ahead of you. I've been taking pictures this whole time.
Gloves, look out, man. Sean means business.
What sends the power from the engine to the transmission. And this, I believe, is the clutch basket. It's gotta be 1990s themed ghost flames or like some type of, whatever, however they would customize a bike in the 1990s, that's what we're gonna go for.
Like butter. Electrical tape from 1945. It's been through a war and it's still holding on. The stuff they make today can't make it from the showroom to your garage.
Like this is the drive gear.
Okay, yeah.
And the brakes.
Yes.
It's all one piece.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
And other than this,
Pull this off, pull this, and then the chain will come off and everything will come out together.
well, I think that wraps up this video right now, guys. If you do have any tips and pointers and ways to help us out in putting this thing back together and fixing it and rebuilding it and where we might be able to find parts, please let us know. Please email this email address right down here. And I'm pretty excited about it. You pretty excited about this,
I'm
Craig?
stoked. Very excited.
It's good to know you're stoked. You're late 1990s stoked.
It's gonna be rad.
Only a feeling that 1990s guys fails.
Yeah, that's me.
All right, cool. Subscribe.
Smash that thing.